Hi, my name is Kevin Frake. I'm the president of Integrated Liner Technologies, and I am the outgoing chair of the Laboratory Products Association. I'm here today to discuss how Laboratory Products Association plays a key role in science and how we can influence potential students to choose a career in the laboratory science area. And I have several panelists here with me, so I'm going to introduce our panelists. Harry, if you can.
Hi, my name's Harry Ruska. I'm the general manager for GFS Chemicals. As a general manager, I'm responsible for all parts of the business between manufacturing, quality, sales, customer service, and product development. So I've been with GFS for 12 years and as a member of the LPA for 11. So it's been a great experience.
Thank you, Harry. Amy.
Sure. My name is Amy Debroczy. I am the Director of America's Commercial Operations for Corning Life Sciences. I manage our entire North America sales organization, and I also have a channel team that works for me that helps manage our relationships with our channel partners, our logistics partners that help us get our products out to our end user customers. I've been with Corning for 32 years, and I've been part of the LPA for the past 4 years, and it's been a great experience.
Thank you, Amy. Tim.
Hi, I'm Tim Montondo. I'm the Director of Customer Care for Eisco Scientific, so I take care of all sales and customer interactions. I've been with Eisco for 9 years, and we've been a part of the LPA for 5 years.
Thanks, Tim. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Kevin Frake. I'm the president of Integrated Liner Technologies. Been on the board of directors with the LPA for 12 years as a director, vice chair, and most recently the chair. The LPA has been a incredible asset to our company. The information that the LPA provides allows our company and our employees to be better equipped to handle the different responsibilities of their jobs. I, for one, have been in this business for 38 years. Started my career right out of college, and I was trying to get a job in the science business, and I was a science major, but when I was in college, I was a marine biology major, and as a marine biology major, I realized very quickly there wasn't a lot of money to be made in marine biology, so I changed my career path to biology, but I didn't want to go into research, and I don't know if any of you have had that same kind of feeling. They want to go into research, so I started investigating how can I change my career but still be in the science. And when I went to college, I actually was one of the first students to actually minor in marketing as a science major. Back when I went to school, you weren't allowed to cross school major. You couldn't. If you were a business major, you were a business major. So with that, I had changed my career, took marketing classes, got out of college with a minor in marketing and a biology degree, and I thought I was going to go and sell pharmaceuticals and work for a pharmaceutical company. And the first person I contacted said, "You have no experience." So they said, "What should you do?" And I said, "Well, I got to get experience. You need sales experience." So I started selling office equipment and got trained and did all those things. And then I joined a company that was in a small distributor, and my career took off from there. So I think that the point I'm making is that a lot of students don't know what they want to be. They don't know what their career should be, and they go to college, and sometimes it's family pressure, sometimes it's other things, and they choose sometimes the path of least resistance, but they don't realize that there are careers in our business, and it's not just about being a doctor or being a researcher. That you can have a full and fulfilling career in the science world, and we are all here because of that. So have any of have you had similar experiences when you started your college
Oh,
college
absolutely,
career? So
absolutely. I remember when I first went to school, I wasn't sure. I took some chemistry classes, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I just found that I really had the interest of doing more applied work, and I ended up graduating with a chemical engineering degree, which was different than what I ever thought I started with. Later, I got a master's in business administration, and believe it or not, I started with Corning, and from then I did a lot of different things, and I think that was the beauty of the science background and the engineering. You could plot. You don't have to plot a course. You can find it out on your own by trying things. You learn what you like and dislike, and the beauty of it is organizations like ours give us the opportunity to try different things. And you don't have to worry about it where you make a mistake, you know? It's not like you go one way and you'll never be able to change direction. I found that I had an opportunity to go many different ways, you know, between typical traditional engineering to production to materials management. Something I never even thought about before.
Materials management.
Into sales and marketing, you know. Who would, you know, I never would have thought about that back when I first started. So the opportunity is awesome that you can do those things without really having to worry about changing companies or, you know, changing fields.
So what would be your advice to a student that's thinking about a career in
Don't worry about it. You know, don't get all anxious about it. Find out that you're going to learn things as you go, and as you get more developed in your career and your training, you're going to find the things that you gravitate towards, and you'll naturally move that way from your own interests, and you'll perform in the way that your performance will kind of mimic your interests, and that'll help perpetuate your career.
Good insight there, Harry. Anyone else have a similar?
I had a very similar experience to what you had talked about. Is I went to college and I wanted to become a pediatrician, and I took all sorts of science classes, and I love science. My first internship between my freshman and sophomore year, I worked in a lab and doing experiments, and I really did love the science, but I quickly realized I didn't really like lab work. I enjoyed the science of it, but anyways, I got through the internship, and when I went back the second year between my sophomore and junior year, I took an inside sales role internship, selling products that I had used in the lab. And I really gravitated to that. And I realized I really like the selling, but I love the science. And so similarly, I ended up taking marketing classes and sales and so forth. So I was really fortunate to be able to stay in the field of science, but I found that I was more drawn to being in a sales, a commercial role. So, you know, I graduated from college, and my first role was in customer service, answering phones and putting in orders, and I had an opportunity to become a sales rep, and I took it. And I was nervous and scared, but I did it, and I've loved it ever since. I love being in the field of science and selling.
And dealing with people, right?
Dealing with people.
Yes. Tim?
Yeah, it's a kind of a similar theme. I went to school to be a science teacher. I was kind of always a science nerd, I guess, was how you described me as a kid. And wasn't interested in research, but I was really interested in education, so I thought I'll become a science teacher. So I went through that, got my degree in education, did some substitute teaching, and one fall there wasn't any science teacher jobs available in the area where I wanted to live. So I applied for a job at Ward's Natural Science, which is part of VWR Avantor now.
I remember.
And I thought, this will be a fun job to do for a few months until I get a teaching job.
And here you are,
and
right?
I ended up being there for 22 years. And then 9 years ago, in that time, very similar. I had jobs in in the lab, in the production facilities,
Right.
in marketing, in product management, and so lots of different jobs. And it was kind of time for a different job, and there wasn't one. And like Harry said, I could have been really worried about that, but there was opportunities within the organization.
Right.
Those didn't fit, but there was this whole huge world of opportunities in other lab supply and production companies. And Eisco had been a supplier of mine, so I knew it was a good company, so I took the opportunity to go there. And I always said when I was with VWR, I would do anything I could do to help the sales team, because I did not want to be a salesperson. And here I am now in charge of sales for a company.
So you knew what not to do.
Well, again, I took advantage of, I guess, the skills I had in working with people from the education, and that worked out for me. So it's that 6-month job as a filler has now turned into a 30+ year career in lab supplies.
And I think we could all probably look back and say, when we all went to college, we had a plan.
Right.
And that plan, we thought we had to stick to that plan, but things change. You adapt. You figure a way forward. I don't think it's failure. I think it's opportunity. And here we are. We're all we find ourselves part of the LPA, and this organization fosters that interaction, the networking, and everything. So, on that theme. What would you say the benefits that a potential student that's looking to come into our industry, that the LPA would offer for that kind of career? What are some of the things that you've gotten out of the LPA, and what do you think that would do for a student?
Sure. The first thing is just the interaction with other people in the industry, and the the networking.
To know you're not alone?
Well, yeah, to know you're not alone. And then the ability to just learn from people. And we always have great speakers, but I learn more from my counterparts and sometimes my competitors, the relationships that we have just to support and encourage each other, to kind of help us along the way if you're struggling with something. That's been the greatest part of the LPA for our organization, is just those the connections you're able to make.
What would be your best advice to someone who is starting their career in their college career? What would be your best advice to them?
It's interesting because you go to college, you think you're going to study this, right? And that may be what you study and you work towards your degree. But the hidden gem to me is you are taught how to solve problems, and you are taught how to learn and ask questions. Right. That's the hidden gem about you don't realize you're doing this. You're learning this, and it happens naturally, and it sort of happens organically that it happens. And you think it's because you're learning your subject. But in the background, you're learning how to do this. And that's probably the most valuable thing you learn. Because no matter what you're doing, you're going to learn how to use those skills. Yeah. No matter what you're doing.
That is great.
In any of the functional areas that we've been talking about.
That's great advice. Tim, any?
Yeah, I think learning how to learn and learning how to research. That's changed dramatically in the last few years. But that's the challenge a lot of folks have, is they'll get in any career, whether it's business or engineering or whatever, if they don't learn how to problem solve, they're missing a huge part. Yeah. And that's the great thing about a science background, is science is usually problem solving, and putting things through the scientific method and trying things out and keeping track of your data and your variables. Right. And then you can apply that to any career that you want to go into. Yes. So that'd be the thing I would encourage people is, learn how to problem solve with whatever area you're getting into,
including whatever you choose to do in college. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, like I say, that's where it starts. That's where it starts.
And I think too, mixing and matching your subjects that you're taking. If you really like science, the majority of that, and you have to have those credits, but you can also take something completely fun like photography or sales, or there's a number of different courses that you can take to kind of explore your interests, and you never know what might stick, right?
Yeah.
So, and then it could be what we ended up combining a couple of our interests to come up with something that really clicked with us in our career path. So
that's great advice. I think you look at your college or your first job and you say you don't have to love it. You have to learn from it.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, you find something you love. And sometimes it just happens. Like, I love this market. I love this field that I find myself in, and the fact that every day is different, and that I'm very happy, with the career and with what I've chosen. So I think that you will find something you love. The front end is tough, but you learn. And I would say, I told a story all the time with my salespeople. I said, or managers, I would say, good managers don't have enough fingers on their hands or toes on their feet to count all the mistakes they make. But a good manager learns from them and moves on. And how many times have you heard in your career where somebody says things like, no decision is a bad decision. A decision, even if it's wrong, is better than no decision. And I think that is advice I would give anyone, is just, don't get into a position where you are forced to, don't make a decision, because that's bad. You have to pick a path. Whether it's good or bad, you'll figure it out, and along the way. So is there anything else that, you, throughout your career, that you would say tremendously influenced what you chose, or someone in your or something or some event that changed?
I want to say that don't underestimate talking to other people, learning from them, listening to them.
So in an age of no human contact, Zoom, meet people, talk to them.
Don't
in
be
person.
afraid to ask the plant manager, what he thinks.
Right. Be open-minded.
You know what I mean? Or the CEO. Don't be afraid of that.
Or the person on the production floor.
They're great opportunities to learn and understand what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Right. You know what I mean? And those are all perfect opportunities you don't want to get let go by. Yeah. And
great advice.
That's the thing. People are always afraid of how they come across. The person would enjoy the opportunity to talk to you about it. Right. They don't view you as intruding. They want to see that you succeed. Yeah. They want to mentor people and help.
I think it's been something the Lab Products Association has done for the entire time I've been involved, is to always give people information so that they can succeed, and to provide them with education and the opportunity to interact, and to be, to build on those relationships. I know that we struggle, when we had COVID, it was a struggle, and we kept saying, how do we make the organization relevant? It was like a big topic, and how will we be perceived by our membership? Will we still be relevant because we can't meet in person? And we figured out a way. Everybody put their heads together. We did the Zoom meetings. We did the scientific advisory, and we came out of that better. And then we had our first in-person meeting in Naples, right?
In Naples.
And it was packed.
And it was almost emotional too.
It was like, oh my God!
Happy to see each other.
Yes. So I think people need people.
Yes.
And in our business, I think it's critical, and a lot of times science, gets a bum rap where they think we're all mad scientists in a back room, and there's a whole other side of it. And
I think
and
the
that's what
other
we
part
do,
too is the LPA has been around for over 100 years.
Saying something.
And I just think there's just not a lot of associations that have had that longevity, and so to me, that tells you something,
Yes.
that it is meaningful. And I know Corning, the company I work for, has been a member for many, many, many,
One of the founding
many,
members, I believe.
many years. And I'm so happy now that, you know, I can participate as well. But I think 100 years is that's a lot.
We should all be so lucky, right?
Well, and to just piggyback on that, when you think, when you know, we were talking today about changes in technology and information, think about the changes that we've had in 100 years.
Right.
I mean, and the LPA is gone through that.
Yep.
You know,
And
we didn't,
survived.
we didn't
It
have,
evolved.
we didn't have computers in college. You went to a computer room.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, and then and it was printed. I mean, think
Yep.
of the
On
changes in.
dots.
Yeah. So yeah,
Card deck.
the LPA and its members will, you know, will survive this and move on as technology changes and, you know, be a part of that.
Yep. And so I think at the end of the day, the one thing that we could say to students is that look at science in a different light. I think that science, careers in science and through associations like the LPA and companies like ours can give you an opportunity that will be rewarding, and you can have a career. And I think all of us would agree that is probably one of the biggest takeaways of being a member of the LPA. So I wanted to thank our panelists and to thank you for watching this video. And I hope that as you decide what your career path will be, that the LPA can provide you some insight and help you along the way. So if you have any questions, please reach out to the LPA, and we will certainly try to help you. Thank you.
Thank you.